Why pay rent? This three-wheel camper is cheaper than an apartment. Imagine having your own tiny home, your own bed, your own kitchen, and even a private space to relax, but instead of paying rent every month, you simply drive your home wherever you want to go. That is the incredible idea behind the compact three-wheel camper. At first glance, it might look like a strange combination of a motorcycle, a tiny house, and a mini RV. But look closer, and you'll realize just how clever this concept really is. The three-wheel design keeps the vehicle compact enough for city streets while providing more stability and usable space than a traditional two-wheel setup. The biggest attraction is obviously the size. Traditional motorhomes can be expensive, difficult to park, and costly to maintain. A three-wheel camper takes the opposite approach. Everything is designed around simplicity, mobility, and making the most of every inch of available space. Inside, the goal is not luxury in the traditional sense. Instead, it is practical living. A compact sleeping area can provide a comfortable place to rest after a long day. Storage compartments can be built into otherwise unused spaces, allowing clothes, food, camping equipment, and personal items to stay organized. Depending on the design, a small cooking area can also be included, giving travelers the ability to prepare simple meals without depending on restaurants all the time. And that can make a huge difference for someone trying to reduce daily living expenses. But perhaps the most fascinating part is the freedom. Imagine waking up near a lake, spending the afternoon exploring a new town, and then moving somewhere completely different the next morning. Your bedroom moves with you. Your living space moves with you. There is no traditional lease tying you to one location. Of course, a tiny camper like this is not a magical replacement for every apartment. Space is limited, amenities are compact, and living in such a small environment requires organization and a willingness to simplify. You also have to consider fuel, maintenance, parking, insurance, weather, and local laws before treating a camper as a full-time residence. But that is exactly what makes the concept so interesting. It challenges the idea that comfortable living requires a huge house or an expensive apartment. Instead of paying for rooms you rarely use, a tiny mobile camper focuses on the essentials: a place to sleep, somewhere to store your belongings, basic cooking capability, and the freedom to travel. And because the entire vehicle is built around mobility, it can potentially be much easier to move than a conventional RV. Its smaller footprint could make navigating crowded streets and finding parking less intimidating than with a massive motorhome. The three-wheel layout also gives the vehicle a unique visual identity. It looks futuristic, unusual, and almost like something from a science fiction movie. But beneath that eye-catching appearance is a very simple philosophy: make a small amount of space work extremely hard. That philosophy is becoming more popular as people rethink traditional housing. Rising living costs have encouraged many people to explore smaller homes, converted vans, micro RVs, bike campers, and other alternative living solutions. And this three-wheel camper fits perfectly into that movement. The real question is not whether it can replace a luxury apartment. Obviously, it cannot offer the same amount of space. The question is whether someone would rather have a tiny, mobile home with fewer possessions and more freedom than spend years paying for a larger space they may not truly need. For minimalist travelers, adventurers, weekend campers, and people who simply love unusual engineering, the answer could be yes. The coolest thing about this concept is that it turns the traditional idea of home completely upside down. A home doesn't necessarily have to sit on a foundation.